what are we going to talk about today in the next probably 30 minutes or so? We're going to talk about some of the short and long-term benefits of a strong professional network. We'll talk about some techniques for starting, growing, and maintaining your network of professionals. I will help you to identify your networking preference and use that to help you get started. I will leave you today with 3 things to do. And at the end, so here's the thing, you have to stay until the end because I am going to share with you a little of, taste of the secret sauce of networking. Okay, so make sure that you stay until the end. Let me give you some facts. So you see that this is not something that Linda or myself are making up, but this is real. 40% of people network more online than in person. 80% of professionals believe that you can elevate your career success through professional networking. Listen to this one. Companies earn $12.50 for every dollar invested in networking meetings. So for all the business owners, small companies here, you need to start investing in networking. Look at the return there. And 38% of professionals find it difficult to maintain their business relationships. And I'm going to talk more about that. So what is networking? Networking is all about building relationships. And you do this to gather and to share resources and information. That's what networking is. Now, why do we need to network, or why do we suggest you network? Because networking assists you to identify opportunities for partnerships, joint ventures, whether as an entrepreneur or as an investor, has been because I have networked, period. Now, let's talk about the benefits of networking. And we're going to start with short term. First of all, it breaks our addiction to reactive search strategies. What does that mean? It means that probably right now, a few of us here, we are in reactive mode, meaning we see something online and we react to it. We get an email and we react to it. I want to take you out of that reactive mode into proactive mode, and networking will do that. You will discover opportunities that probably you didn't even know existed. I got to tell you guys, on a weekly basis, I'm discovering opportunities and things that I had no idea existed. How exciting is that? It's like watching a new movie almost every day that hasn't been released. Okay? Now, building enduring professional relationships, that's a given. That's part of networking, which is what I said before. Professional development. The growth that you're going to see in yourself, professionally and personally, just by networking is going to be unbelievable. I can tell you, since the day I made the decision that I will become a professional networker, I have changed, I have grown. And that's what you are going to see as well. Just by default, just by networking, you will grow personally and professionally. And it's free, by the way. Yes. Enhancing your knowledge and credibility. This is so important when you network. Guys, I've built a reputation among my network globally as a master networker. And I've gained credibility within my field just because I have networked and I talk to a lot of people. So if you want to be perceived as the expert in a certain area, if you want to build that credibility, network will do that for you. And listen to this one, it puts you ahead of much of the competition. Most people are not networking. I'm going to repeat that. Most people are not networking. So if you just start to network even a little bit, you are already ahead of much of the competition. Now, long term. So it really helps you to manage and to grow your business and your career. When you're continually gathering information, building relationships, that is going to give you and add success to you. It's always going to propel you forward. Let me tell you something already. So we're very clear about how the universe works. And this is already metaphysics and other things, but it's important to understand something. You're never sitting still, never. You're either moving backwards or moving forward. So by you not doing anything, you're moving backwards. So let's say you networked and you're good, you're in a position where your business is growing, your career is growing. getting comfortable and not doing anything, it means that you start to move backwards. Networking will force you to always move forward. Now, it gives you career and business resilience. Because if you think that your next job or your next business is your last one, it won't be. Especially if you have a job, right? I think it's now 1 in 5 people that are going to lose their job, probably less actually, or well, more, however you want to look at it, in the next 5 years. And guys, we're heading towards a huge recession. Unemployment is at its peak. So you need to network. You cannot be comfortable where you are right now. It also improves your employability and credibility, which is what I said before, especially your employability. Networking, and if you have a job right now, you have a career, you work for someone else, when you are networking, you're always one step ahead of the game, and it's important. And it gives you greater control over your career and business, and you always want to feel in control. Networking will empower you. You will feel in control because you will know what's out there, who's out there, what is happening to the economy, what is happening within your field. So you always need to be networking. Now, I'm big on goal setting. I mean, who else here, by show of hands, who is a goal setter? Whether you like it or not. Let's actually ask this. Who doesn't like to set goals? It's stressful, right? When you have to sit down and look at your goals. And it's even more stressful when you actually have to look at the goals that you didn't achieve. Yeah. But it's all good. You have to set goals. In networking, it's the same. Why set goals for networking? Guys, networking. There is that word in networking that is work. You have to work it. And you need to treat networking as work. You can treat it as a hobby. You'll get results as a hobby, but if you treat it as work, you will get results as a work. So set your goals. And you need to confirm what is it that you want next. It's important for you to know, not to network for the heck of networking, but what are your goals? What are you trying to achieve by networking? How can your network help you? Who are you looking for that will help you or propel you forward in your goals? Because that's what networking and your network will do. You need to create and practice a message. And I'm not going to go through this now. I'm going to give you a little bit of the secret sauce. But in other workshops that I do, I actually tell you how to develop and write a message that works. But you need to create and practice a message. What is that message? What are you telling people? And all of this is based on your goals. And of course, you need to connect with people. In networking, like any other business, like any other job, it's about the numbers. So let me walk you through an example to tell you what I mean. Okay, because there is a science, believe it or not, behind networking. And I'm going to show this to you. Okay, so let's say your networking goals are to connect with one person you know every day. Okay, and then another goal is to connect with 3 new people every week. When we look at these numbers, and guys, you can write this down because these numbers actually work. Okay, if you're a beginner in networking, usually, if you send a message, okay, or connect with someone, and I like to use LinkedIn. Let's say you send a message or you ask someone to connect with you on LinkedIn. Usually, out of 15 people that you reach out to, 1 or 2 will get back to you, okay? If you're really good, it's going to be between 8 and 10. If you're a master networker like me, you're going to get it done with less than 5 people. Okay. My numbers are that high, but because I've worked on it. So if you want to connect with 3 new people every week, right? Then what's the math for that? It's what you need to reach out to about 40, 45 people. Okay. If you're a beginner, if you're really not good at it, if you're good at it, it's about 30 people. So 1 or 2 out of 10. Okay. Again, networking is work. So it is all about the numbers. So how do you meet your goals? You need to track your networking activity. Sometimes I have people coming to me, oh, well, I'm not, nobody's responding to me. I can't connect with people. My first question to them is, how many people have you reached out to? That's always my first question, because it's all about the numbers. How many people have you actually reached out? So if you know those numbers, 1 out of 10, okay, then make, based on the goals and how many people you want to reach out to or you want to connect with every week, you need to work those numbers. And find someone to hold you accountable. Like anything else, guys, anything, whether it's professionally or health or personally, you should have someone to find you accountable, because isn't that the truth that we are going to deliver results when we have to report to someone else than to ourselves? Yes. So find someone accountable that can work with you. Okay. Now, building your network. Okay. So we need to start to build your network. Some of you have already a network in place, which is great. In fact, many of you probably have thousands of connections. What are you doing with those connections? What are you doing with those connections? The average person has at least 500 connections between their phone, social media, LinkedIn. The question is, what are you doing with that network and with those connections? Because that's what's important. So first of all, build your contact list. Write it down. Guys, start right now. Once we're done, start writing your contact list. Use an Excel spreadsheet, whatever you want. If you're fancy with software, honestly, I don't like paying for anything that I don't need. So open up an Excel spreadsheet and start a networking log. Add to it all the time. Build it all the time. Make the point of adding at least 1 or 2 people every day to that list. And I'm going to tell you already, if you do not write it down, it doesn't exist. If you are going to go by memory, good luck to you, because you really, truly need to build that contact list. And eventually you're going to populate it with every conversation that you've had, or when did you ask to connect, because you really want to track that. You want to track the numbers. You want to track your goals. So start building that contact list. Don't miss the obvious. And let me ask you that, and I'm actually going to look at the chat now. What do you think is the obvious? When I say don't miss the obvious, what do you think I mean by that? What is the obvious?
Friends, family. Friends
So
of
Clara, thank you. Exactly. Friends, family, what we call warm market, right? Warm market. And Linda, if you can help me with some of the comments here, because I cannot follow all of them. If there's questions or comments, please let me know. Yes, warm market. Warm market is really the obvious. Most people tend to ignore that, right? Co-workers, colleagues, if you're taking courses or certifications, right? Guys, we're here in leadership and C-suite, a whole, network that just became your warm market, your warm network, right, Linda? Now, there is your warm market. And here is the beauty about networking, is wanting or trying to access other people's warm market. I'm going to say that again. There is your warm market, but then you want to access other people's warm market. And then that by default becomes your warm market. That's referrals, right? Linda knows many people that I don't. So by her referring me to her network, that's a warm introduction. It just became a warm market. And guess what? With the credibility that Linda has, are you kidding me? Who's not going to listen to any recommendation or referral that she gives? Talk to the best network people you know. Guys, talk to me. I'd be happy to connect with all of you. If you're not connected with me, please connect with me on LinkedIn. Talk to the best network people you know. And all of you know people who are great networkers. Talk to them. Talk to them to get tips, to learn, but most importantly, to access their network. This is what I hear many times, not only in my business, but just in anything that I do, even from my students, like, oh, well, I don't know a lot of people, right? I'm here in Canada. We have a lot of immigrants. Like, oh, my network is so small. I only know 2 people here. Great, but guess what? How many people do those 2 people know? Guys, it's just leverage. you need to create leverage for yourself. And when you can create leverage that is free and it's right there waiting for you, that's another thing that is obvious. That is the obvious thing. Asking for referrals. You know what the number one reason is why people don't get referrals? What is the number one reason why people don't get referrals?
They don't
Because they
ask.
don't ask.
Don't ask. Yeah.
Exactly. Listen, this is what I tell my kids. I say, you never know until you ask. Most people don't ask. Ask me for a referral. I'll be more than happy to do that. I'm asking for referrals every single day. And guess what? Most of the time I get it. Sometimes I don't. But even if I don't, I'm still in the same position, but at least I asked. Yeah? Now, what is your networking style? Let me just do a time check here. Okay, great. This is really, really important. This is really important. And before I talk about the different networking styles, on the chat, if you can write down what is your networking style. Be fearless, Tracy. Absolutely. Yes, you got to be fearless. What is your networking style? Like how do you usually network? Be of service, absolutely. Do you network in groups by yourself? Do you reach out to people? Just give me a few ideas with a smile. Absolutely. So you network with a smile. Love that, Mayank. How do you guys network? Group and with the intention to help others in leadership level, of course. Group, reach out, creator. Yes, Shosh, absolutely. Everywhere. Just start talking. Know me like me, follow me. Yes. Leadership, absolutely. Be interested in people. Yes. So guys, it is important to know what your networking style is. So do you like to introduce yourself or would you rather be introduced by someone? Do you prefer carefully planned situations or do you like to dive in and see what happens? Do you get energized by large groups or do you prefer smaller, quieter meetings? It's important that you know your style. Because anyone can be an effective networker, but you really need to understand what your style is. What are you most comfortable with? Especially if you're a beginner. Especially if networking, just the sound of that word, networking, just makes you cringe, okay? So know your style and start with what makes you the most comfortable. And you must set goals and meet them. So working within your style, especially at the beginning, okay? And with the goals that you want to create, and someone said here, the intention, then that's what's going to really, really propel you forward in your networking goals. I love planned situations, small groups, and preferably, yes. Friendly, informal, yes, excellent. And guys, today with technology, I mean, you can really go about networking within your style. Sometimes you don't even have to, revert from it or use a different style. You can literally create a lot just by staying true to your style. So things in our favor when we're networking, because, and hopefully this actually takes away some of the fear that you have or some of the things that are stopping you from networking. First of all, rest assured that people want to help. Okay. How many of you have been in a situation or you've heard, I hear this a lot, actually, especially with people in my team. It's like, I'm going to connect with people, but why would they help me? How many of you have heard that? How many of you maybe have said that? Why would they help me? Guys, honestly, I don't know, but all I know is that people want to help. And all of you that have been around here networking, how many of you by show of hands have seen that increase even more in the last 2 years? Because I've seen, it's unbelievable. I mean, something amazing about the pandemic is that people just, I don't know, their heart came to the surface. They understood that really the best thing for everybody is just to help. And they are going to want to help. It's amazing. Honestly, I have not seen one person, and I networked a lot, one person that has refused to help me. It hasn't happened. People like to talk about themselves. Yay. I know I love to talk about myself. And that's a great one. Use it. And we're going to talk about the kinds of questions that you can ask people, but just put it out there, just prompt them. if you are now in a situation where you're maybe looking for a new opportunity, looking for a job, looking for your next career move, the best way to engage someone is to compliment them on what they've done, how interested you are in hearing their story. Guys, they're going to open up that door so fast to tell you everything about them. And just listen, just sit back and listen, let them talk. It's going to be amazing. People are interested in your story. So 20 minutes ago, when I started talking, I told you about storytelling. Yes. So yes, people like to tell their story, but guess what? They're also interested in your story. And believe me when I tell you, you have a story. We all have a story. And a story doesn't have to be a sad story or a dramatic story, or, I'm very blessed. I don't have any, dramatic stories or tragedies to tell you, thank God. It's not about that. It's just your story. People are interested about your story, and you need to believe this. You really need to believe and tell yourself, and there's different coaching for that, where you really need to believe that you have a great story to tell, and people want to hear that story because you have something they can use. So when you network, right, and here's what I'm going to tell you: when you network and you approach someone to network, you need to come with the intention that you can help them as much as they can help you, but you always need to look for, how can I help you? And that's always how I lead any connection, any conversation. Anyone who checks my LinkedIn profile, and some of you might have checked out my LinkedIn profile, and I might have asked that question to you. Hey, thank you for visiting me. How can I help you? Because it is first about giving, first about helping others. And then, the universe will just give it back to you. But you need to know that you can help them. If you think you can, nonsense. First of all, you're connected to a lot of people. So within your network, there's going to be someone that maybe they want to be connected to. Maybe you know something about something they don't know. You never know, but you will. And here's the thing: if you approach every conversation with these 4 concepts right here, those conversations are going to be fascinating every time, because again, it's like going to watch a movie that you don't even know how it ends. And this is what I love. That's the way I approach it. Every conversation, every new conversation that I have, or every conversation that I have with someone who's relatively new, I get excited because, first of all, I'm like, I have no idea. What am I going to learn? Because I come from a place of learning. And I don't know how this conversation is going to end. And it's awesome every single time, because that's how I approach it every single time. That is always my intention, always. Now, what are some of the questions to ask when networking? And I'm just going to give you a few. There is a lot, okay? And guys, notice what I'm telling you. What are some of the questions to ask when networking? Why am I telling you like questions? Why is that so important to ask questions?
Because you find out about people that way, what they're up to, who they are.
Why is that important, Clara?
Because it's important to understand what their needs are, what their pain points are, how you can show up, who can refer, whether you can help them, whether they can help you.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
How you can be of service. I feel like a lot of times when you're gathering information from, an initial meeting with someone, you're learning how you can be of service, where there's places of commonality, where there's places of mutual intention, mutual action, mutual interest. But also for me, I'm always asking questions to figure out where I can lift them up, who I can connect them with, how I can advance their success, what I can do to be of service to them.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, service is big, and especially for you, Linda. I mean, you're definitely a servant leader, and it's awesome. And Shoshana says they want to talk about themselves, build rapport. You learn how to connect or be of service. There you go. And Robin, yeah, that's exactly what I said, of course. Excellent. So having said that, and I'm curious, what are some of the questions? Sorry, Maurice, do you have a question? I see your hand is raised. Yeah.
Since networking is about referring people to opportunities that you bump into, the first thing you have to know is what they do, how they do it, why they do it, what they're looking for, what their target profile looks like, and so on. Because unless you know that, you can't do anything for or with them.
I love it. You see, so you can tell Maurice is a master networker as well, because the whole answer that he gave is about how he can help them. That's it. That's it. Exactly. How can you be of service? So guys, what are some of the questions that you ask? Before I give you some of the questions that, I use, what are some of the questions that you ask when you start networking with someone?
What do you love most about your business?
What do you love most about your business? What are your interests, your passions? Tell me your 3-minute story. I love that. Past, present, future. Love it. All right. Excellent. So go ahead.
What I find is useful, if you say, if life is a candle, what for you is being in the flame rather than being in the wax?
Maurice, say that again. Say that again.
If we regard life as being a candle, yeah, are you in the wax or are you in the flame? In which case, what for you is being in the flame?
I love that. I love that. I love that. I love using those analogies. How great. And that's such a great icebreaker as well. I love it. Awesome. So here are four questions that I have here. Just very simple, very basic. Okay. Tell me about yourself. That's just an open-ended question that you can use. You can get into their goals. You can get into what do you like about what you do. I love these last two questions. I really, really like spending time on it because it's going to give me so much information, to your point, Maurice, before, of how I can really help them. What is it that they love so much about what they do? And last, I never asked that at the beginning, okay? But last, what are some of the challenges? Because that really is going to open the door for me to think about, okay, so these are some of the challenges. This is how I can help you, right? So these are just some questions that you can ask. And again, we saw other questions here on the chat. We can always learn different ways to approach this. And the good thing about some of the best conversations that I've had and the best feedback that I've gotten from conversations have been when I've literally been asking questions. I didn't even get to talk about myself, and the person was just blown away by me. And I've gotten the best referrals without even me talking about me, but just asking questions. Because here's the thing about human beings. They love to feel valued and they love to be validated. So when you are asking questions and you're coming from that place of service, that's exactly how they're going to feel. Because remember, and you've heard this many times, I'm sure, after a conversation, what is the one thing that people will remember? Exactly. How you made them feel. Exactly. And guess what? You made them feel great. They're going to help you. They're going to love you. You just build trust. You know what? At this point, everything is open for them and for you. Exactly. Yes, we do. Sometimes we use it the other way around, right, Tracy? That's great. So here are your 3 to-dos when you leave today. Okay. So there's a couple of things that I'm going to share with you. So, but your 3 to-dos when you leave today, guys, you can do them or you cannot. That's totally up to you. Listen, I say this every time. Training without action is pure entertainment, and I can entertain the heck out of you, right? I would love to do that, but I do want to leave you with some actionable steps that you can take. So your list, that's the first thing that you need to do. And even if you're a master networker, you know what? How about after the call today, you just go back to your list? Because I know that my list, honestly, every week is incomplete. I know that, right? So go back to your list and just write it, either start it or continue to complete it. Add 3 new contacts to your networking list in the next week. 3, not 10, 3. That's just a suggestion, right? LinkedIn, guys, I swear by LinkedIn, I've met so many of you here, if not all of you, that I've connected with through LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. And by the way, we have great people and LinkedIn coaches through leadership that can help you with this, okay? Because guys, let me tell you, if you're not on LinkedIn, you don't exist professionally. I'm going to repeat that. If you're not on LinkedIn, you don't exist professionally. And if you don't have a great LinkedIn profile, you're screwed. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. You are professionally screwed. Okay. So go back to your LinkedIn, take a look at it. And if you need someone professional to help you, reach out to Linda. She can refer you to some great people that I've met myself to get a great LinkedIn. Now, this is the secret sauce that I was going to tell you about. Okay. Because one of the first questions that I get asked after I talk to people about how to network is, what do I say? How do I send a message? And I'm talking specifically about LinkedIn. Again, LinkedIn is my go-to, guys, okay? But how? What do I say? How do I send a message? People are not going to want to connect with me. I got to tell you, this is the secret sauce and the secret recipe, okay? And when you come to one of my workshops, we're actually going to work on this to really create a message that is powerful. But I'm just giving you here some tips that you can use. If you use these 3 things in a message, I promise you, okay, you can quote me on it. I promise you that you will get a response. You will get a reply. What happens after that? That's up to you, okay? That's on you. But if you use this, I'm opening the door for you. You will get a response. And this is what I found over the last few years, that it works for me every single time. So first of all, it's going to be a personalized message. Okay, you're not going to use this to create a mass message. That doesn't work. Guys, I can tell you that already. Mass messaging and bots and things like that, you know what? It might get you some results, these bots, and, you know, very short-term, short-lived. That's my personal opinion. Okay, there's nothing like relationship marketing and taking the time, because you need to work this. You need to put the hours into doing this personalized message. So the first thing that you're going to do in your message, you are going to compliment that person. How do I compliment someone I don't know? Well, if you look at their LinkedIn profile, you're going to find plenty to compliment them on. And if you don't have anything to compliment them on, you shouldn't be connecting with them because nothing about them attracts you to them. So obviously, if you want to connect with someone, it's because there is something that you liked about them. And so you're going to use that to compliment them. Yes, Clara?
Can I ask a question? What if they connected with you? I've had 5 new people connect onto my website following a course, and I was going to follow up with a personalized message, but I don't know anything about them other than that they've showed an interest in something I've done.
Yes. So, and this is, do you have their LinkedIn profile?
No, because they've connected to me outside of I've just thrown a net out, and
yeah.
I had
so
people
that would be hard. It would be hard. I mean, a compliment would be how appreciative you are of them, right? So if you don't have anything on them, just thank them. Thank them for wanting to connect with you. Okay, that's the first thing that I would do. So you either compliment them on something that you know about them, whether it's, the career that they have, the project they're working on, they've been traveling the world. Maybe there's a hobby that you love about them. I don't know. Maybe you like horses and they like horses too. I don't know. Find something to compliment them on. And if you don't have anything, then thank them just for them reaching out to you. Okay, how happy you are about that. The second thing is setting the intention. There's got to be an intention, a reason why you want to connect with that person. And the reason, the intention could be maybe, right, if you're looking for a job in that company or an opportunity, that's an intention. Maybe you want to connect with them because they're actually connected to someone else. Maybe you want to connect with them because you're so intrigued about what they're doing and the industry they're working on. Maybe you want to connect with them because you're looking to expand your network in a certain industry. Whatever that is, you need to tell them what the intention is. Why do you want to connect with them? And the third one, the third part of this, of the message is, inviting them to connect, to chat, to a one-to-one, either a phone call or a Zoom, it doesn't matter. But I would like to take, and I never say a few minutes, okay? I'm very specific. I'm so specific that I'm very outside the box. In the messages that I send, I don't go by 5, 10, 15, maybe because I never go by what everybody else does. I'm always very, non-traditional or rebel, as my mom would probably agree. But I say to someone, I would like to take 12 minutes of your time, 13 minutes of your time, 22 minutes of your time, depending on my intention, right? I would like to take 7 minutes of your time. Guys, I cannot tell you how many times people have gotten back to me just because of that. Wow, that's cool. I love the 7 minutes, the 18 minutes, right? It makes you stand out. But the idea here and guys, if you're not that kind of person, please stick to the 5, the 10, whatever that is, but just tell them how much time you need. It's important for them to know. Okay? Because if you're asking me for, 15 minutes, okay, yeah, I can give you 15 minutes, no problem. But I do need to know why, what the intention is, and thank you for complimenting me for starting, with a positive note. At the end of the day, you want to be authentic. And these 3 parts of the message make you authentic. There's nothing more authentic than it, because you're saying exactly what you want. Does that make sense?